We begin with breaking news. Republican lawmaker Marjorie Taylor-Greene has announced in a video statement posted to X that she is resigning from Congress come January. Let's take a listen to what she just said.
My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day.
Greene, who represents Georgia, was once a staunch supporter of President Donald Trump, but in recent weeks, she's been an outspoken critic of the president for his stance on the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, as well as his take on foreign policy and health care. Her criticism led to backlash from President Trump, the president calling her a traitor and promising to endorse her challenger in her re-election next year. Greene began serving in 2021. Her time in office had several controversial moments by sometimes spreading conspiracy theories and relying on harsh rhetoric. I want to bring in our Jay O'Brien now. Jay, what a bombshell announcement in the wake of the Epstein vote this week. Give us some context here.
Yeah, Andrew, this is something that no one was expecting, and it comes from someone whose name up until recently was synonymous with the MAGA movement and synonymous with being one of President Trump's most vocal defenders on Capitol Hill. And in this announcement video that Marjorie Taylor-Greene just dropped with zero prelude tonight, she talks about this public falling out she's had with President Trump, and it emerges as one of, according to the video, the primary reasons why she is stepping aside here, if not the main reason that she's choosing to resign. Her resignation will be effective, she says, come January 5th, 2026. And I just want to read you a little bit of what she said in that video, particularly what she says about this fallout she's had with President Trump in recent weeks over his opposition until recently of the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files and the legislation to that effect that Greene supported. She says, quote, about her support for the Epstein files, "It should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for." She then goes on to say that she believes come re-election time, come the 2026 midterms, that President Trump would have mounted a primary challenger against her. And she said that her district could have not endured a quote unquote hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win. She says she would win my election, while Republicans would likely, and this is cutting here, quote, lose the midterms. So this is harsh criticism of President Trump on Marjorie Taylor-Greene's way out the door. And we cannot stress enough here, Andrew, this is someone who up until recently was perhaps President Trump's most vocal defender on Capitol Hill, whose name again was so synonymous with the MAGA movement on Capitol Hill, now choosing to step aside because she has had this very public break with the president.
What do you think the reaction on Capitol Hill will be? Do you think anyone knew this was coming?
And in our reporting so far, Andrew, nobody saw this coming, at least in Republican leadership. So we reached out to the Speaker of the House's office, Speaker Mike Johnson, because sometimes when members resign, often typically when members resign, Republican leadership has an inkling that it's coming. And what we've learned tonight is that Republican leaders had no heads up on Capitol Hill that Greene was going to make this announcement. And it's likely going to set off two things. First, it's going to set off this minor competition for who will be framed as President Trump's most vocal defender now. There are a number of members who have made their careers about how publicly they defend President Trump. And up until recently, Marjorie Taylor-Greene was one of them. So you'll see some members try to take her place on the Hill, certainly, but also it will set off this firestorm of questions in that this public break between Greene and Trump was only just a few weeks in the making. And so it is no doubt going to cause some questions amongst members of Congress that if you have a position that is contra to what the President of the United States believes, how quickly can you have a falling out that changes, as it has for Greene here, the trajectory of your political career?
And Congress is always so tight, whether it's red or blue. So with Greene's resignation, what will this mean for the House majority? And when do you think that a special election will be held?
It only tightens the majority even closer for Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Now, there are some additional special elections, not in Green state, that will come in the new year. And so that will help him increase his majority. But if Green leaves until other seats are filled, that means Johnson only has a one vote majority on major pieces of legislation. In terms of a special election, we've got to see how that plays out in the state of Georgia. But it's notable here, Andrew, because it decreases Speaker Johnson's majority, but also it comes at a very fraught time on Capitol Hill, where this Jeffrey Epstein issue and the shutdown that we just got out of, the record-breaking shutdown, the longest in American political history, has upended, in a way, President Trump's control over the Republican conference in both chambers. We have seen members as of late be willing to publicly break with President Trump, not to the degree that Marjorie Taylor-Greene did, but we saw Republican members willing to break with Trump on the Epstein files and on issues like trade. So does this open the floodgates, or does it encourage more members not to step to the president?
A bombshell rocking D.C. Jay O'Brien, thank you.